Today we're looking at an update to the story on freedom of panorama, which is this legislation that is being proposed in Europe to block some of our rights to take commercial image rights. This is the update. Hi, my name's Matt Widgery from mattwidgery.com. Yeah, so this is basically looking at the story that I spoke about a couple of days ago regarding freedom of panorama. As you know, if you've already watched that video, and there's a link on screen if you haven't, go and watch that. But I was asking people in that to write to their local MEPs to try and get them to vote no to the proposed amendment that would take away some of these photographic rights. Now, I've had a response from one of the viewers. So this is a response from Wayne Goodman, who wrote to an MEP called Teresa Griffin. And I shall read you here what she wrote in response. Dear Wayne, on behalf of the Labour Party, members of European Parliaments for the North West of England, thank you very much for your email. The amendment relates to an own initiative, in brackets, non-legislative report that is simply an examination by MEPs of the state of play of the implementation of the 2001 Information Society Directive. Therefore, the current document has no legal effect. So, basically, this proposal to get the Legal Affairs Committee to relook at this is being put forward by Julia Reader, but it's not something that can have legal effect. So that's good news for photographers, because it means that this isn't likely to make a difference. It's not likely to change things. So happy days on that one. And therefore, the current document has no legal effect. Nonetheless, I fully understand your concerns, and the Labour Party will vote against any amendment which negatively affects the current UK provisions of freedom of panorama. So if anything does come up, and in this particular vote, they will be voting no for it, but in either way, it won't be a thing that will have a legal impact on us. Hooray. Right, so the European Commission will propose a wide-ranging copyright reform by the end of this year. And the European Parliament has been at the forefront of keeping the debate going on freedom of panorama and other issues. So, towards the end of the year, there will be a vote on copyright, and there will be potentially stuff in there that does affect photographers. So, this doesn't mean that we're out of the woods yet. This might have been a little bit of a storm in a teacup, as I sort of was a bit dismissive of it in the first instance. I still think it's a worthwhile debate to have in people's heads, because there may well be stuff that happens later in the year, and I just think we need to be aware of what the copyright issues are around our work, particularly if we're shooting commercially, and particularly if it's something that is kind of an ongoing engine in Europe and may get changed in the future. So that's that. Labour MEPs are committed to ensuring that the Commission, when proposing its copyright reform, takes on board the views of creators, you guys, industry and consumers, you guys, so that we can create a copyright system which works fairly for everyone. This includes enhanced rights for creators of cultural content and the increased possibility for portability of services and access to cross-border content. So basically, what they're saying, or what Labour's Teresa Griffin is saying, is that they will be trying to work into these copyright reforms that are going to happen later on in the year in Europe, something which allows creators of content and the photographic industry generally to make it easier so that the copyright laws are kind of more balanced across Europe. And that's precisely where I would like to see this going. As I said in my last video, I did think that it would be unworkable to take away something like freedom of panorama. However, if this opens up the debate and allows for a system with more parity, more equality between the different countries, so as you travel around, as people do so much more these days, it's easier, and we get the same copyright laws wherever we are in Europe. That makes a lot of sense. So she goes on to say, I hope this answers your questions. Best regards, Teresa Griffin. And that is the end of that. So yeah, basically, it looks like there has been a bit of a storm in the teacup about this particular thing. It looks like Julia Reader has managed to sort of get a campaign going about nothing. This particular legislation you know, as I said, it just seemed completely unworkable and seemed like nonsense. And I'm very, very happy that it turns out that nonsense it has turned out to be. However, I will keep you posted as these copyright reforms start to be, you know, brought up in Europe later on in the year. We will continue this debate. And if there's anything in there that we as creators of this content can add our voice to, then, you know, let's keep that debate going amongst ourselves and, you know, get it out there to the wider community, get it out there to the MEPs so that they can be aware of our views from the people that are actually making these photographs. So that's it, quick update on that. Thanks very much for watching. As always, if you enjoyed this content, please subscribe and I'll see you again soon. Cheers.